TBT, we just watched two great semifinals matchups. Let's talk about the first game, Heard That versus Heartfire. First quarter, the game started out kind of slow. Both teams struggling to put the ball in the basket, but it did pick up. Remember those back-to-back alley-oops? Then Heard That kind of broke away at the end of the first. In the second quarter, Marcus Hall got hot, 7 straight points out the gate. It was pretty much Heartfire for the majority of the second quarter. They got stops, they got out in transition, they finished. And then towards the end of the second quarter, Heard That went on a run led by JP Tokido, and it was 34-28 Heartfire going into the second half. Third quarter was just choppy, slow, so many fouls and violations, man. Again, Heartfire had the lead, but Heard That was still staying within striking distance. Fourth quarter, I can't say enough about JP Tokido. He looked like the best player on the court throughout the entire game. We did get to see Marcus Hall become the all-time leading scorer in TBT history, and when the Elam ending started, I thought it was a wrap. I thought Heartfire would run away with it, but in the TBT, you just can't count a team out. Heard That came all the way back. They went on a 10-2 run. John Elmore went down after his first bucket. I thought Heartfire did a great job of not letting him get off. On the possession that Putney scored the game-winning shot, Heartfire had about 2 to 3 possessions. That just shows a lot of hustle on the offensive glass. And yeah, they won a tough one. Now let's talk about the Bleed Green Friday Beers matchup. Friday Beers got off to a hot start. Julian Gamble was doing his thing in the post. Bleed Green was able to march back towards the end of the quarter and keep it tight. Second quarter, Bleed Green went on a run. Jordan Stevens got hot, but it was still close going into the half. 33-29 Bleed Green. Third quarter, I thought Bleed Green was going to run away with it. They just looked different. They got off to a hot start. They got out in transition. They just looked like they were playing at a different pace than Friday Bears. They got great play out of their guards, Jefferson, Huntsberry, Stevens. I want to talk about that Elam ending. The target score was 68. Friday Bears went on a quick run. Jefferson hits a floater. Then York comes back with a 3. Then Jefferson drives, kicks it out to Huntberry. He hits a 3. I believe York knocks down a couple of free throws to tie the game up at 65. And then talk about a tough shot by Jordan Stevens. I think he had the double clutch in the air at the 3, knocked it down, game over. The championship is set, Bleed Green versus Heartfire. Bleed Green has great guard play, and in the TBT that has always been big. Ford Thomas Bell brings a lot of energy. Reed is solid. And then with Heartfire, their strength is the interior. Putney, Solomon, Tevin Mack, Griffin. But I think they also have good guard play as well. Craig Sword, Marcus Hall, Gillian. We saw how they were able to limit John Elmore, but now when they face a Bleed Green team, they have multiple guards that can go off. Now this is tough, but for my pick, I'm going with Heartfire. I just think they're the more complete team. In the comments, let me know your thoughts on the semis and who do you think will win the championship.